So we're live. I'm what you need. You're watching my channel. We're running a little late. I said I was going to start at 8 o'clock. It's 8:15 right now, and we're talking about you. It's all about you. While I eat, it's all about you. Who do you pick uh, in tonight's upcoming fight? Devin Haney versus Joseph Diaz. And here's the thing. The thing is, you can come on here. That's the link right there. It's in the chat section or StreamYard. But here's the thing. You have to come back on Sunday or Monday when we stream again, and you have to either push your bragging rights or eat crow. Now, when you tell me who you pick, remember to give me a reason why you pick that person. So let's go. It's all about you guys. If you want to come on here in the program or you want to speak in the chat section, feel free. I am what you need. Those of you who have sponsored me and this channel, thank you so very much. No longer collecting from Western Union or MoneyGram. I have a PayPal account. So you can donate to this channel through this PayPal. I'm going to put it up on the screen here. Okay, so that's my PayPal. Okay, who do you pick and why? You can come on here as a guest. This is the link here. Or you can leave your comments in chat section. Nice. I'll say this much. Both fights interest me. Particularly Haney versus Jojo Diaz. Very interesting fight. And we'll see. I'm particularly looking to see how Devin Haney performs against Jojo. Because I know Jojo is no joke. Who do I pick to win in that fight? I don't know. I know I hear Devin Haney. I hear the camp. I hear what Devin Haney's saying. But a lot of people say boxing's about power and all that. Not really. About knowledge. About skills. You know. About knowledge. What you know. What you don't know can be exposed to those who know. They always talk about some skilled fighters and some not so skilled fighters. Understand, skills are taught. So, the more teachable you are, the more skilled you'll be. Skills are not talents or God given. Which you're born with or you figure out on your own. Skills are taught to a fighter. And yes, some fighters can't execute certain techniques and skills. But once they have skills that can accommodate the idea behind the technique, that's good. And if you can do something in principle multiple different ways, makes you versatile, makes you very skilled. I always remember Mayweather versus Pacquiao. People say Pacquiao came from many different angles. He would come, throw punches from many different angles. But Floyd was able to take that away from him by his pivot work and beat him with 3 punches. A jab, right hand, and a check hook. That's all he had to pull out of his tool bag to beat Manny Pacquiao. Because his footwork makes those simple fundamental things so much more. So, skills. Or knowledge ingrained into a fighter. Allows them to be able to do a thing multiple ways. There are many different ways for example. Pivot off the ropes. Back into the center of the ring. I mean, but the principle remains the same. The principle is this. You want your opponent to commit to closing the distance. And if they move in, you literally roll out. Either roll under them, roll in the shoulder as you move, or you roll with a check hook, catching them with a hook. As you roll the shoulder, and get out of there. It's all about the feet. People always watch their hands, but the key is the footwork. How to get yourself in position to do that. Time and time again. Footwork. Excuse me for a second. I'll be right back. So knowledge can be attained many different ways. One of the ways is through fighting, that you can, increase your knowledge. But another way to increase your knowledge is through repetition, working on things, sharpening up your tools. So there are many various ways in which people get experience. One of them is sparring great world champions and veterans, and so on. You may not fight them, but you spar them, and that also gives you some knowledge on how to handle yourself and how to do certain things in the ring. So boxing's always been about knowledge. It's always been about it. The top guys in boxing have incredible IQs. They have incredible amounts of knowledge and experience. And that's why they're the top guys. So what you need here, asking you guys the questions again. Do you guys think that Jojo Diaz's experience will play a major key in his fight against Devin Haney? Or do you think that Devin Haney will blitz Jojo Diaz because skills pay the bills, and Devin Haney has been trained by Floyd Mayweather Sr., and even Floyd Mayweather Jr. gave him some pointers? Do you think that Devin Haney is going to beat him because of that? So leave in the comment section, or if you want, as you see there, the link here, hop on live with me right now and let's talk about it. Let's chop it up. Give me some reasoning. Do you think that Gervonta Tank Davis is going to get, Isaac Pitbull Cruz out of there in the first round? We saw the weigh-in. We saw Tank push Isaac. Isaac looks small, but obviously Isaac was weight drained. What am I saying? He's dried out. So when he, rehydrates and everything, you'll see what he really looks like. Obviously, he's a big guy. The fact that he looks bone dry like that. So do you think that Tank can prevail against Isaac Cruz? You think Isaac Cruz pressure will be too much for Tank? We will find out. So you guys leave in the comment section. What I like about the most recent times, 2020 even to now, we've had a bunch of upsets. Okay, a lot of fighters have been upsetted. The most recent one was Teofimo Lopez versus George Kambosos. And the question is, can a last-minute replacement like Isaac Cruz, for example, can he bring the upset on Gervonta Tank Davis? And then the next question is it very possible that Jojo Diaz upsets Devin Haney? And I would like to hear what you guys think about that, because I think it's a very interesting matchup. I'm what you need. You can go and pay into my PayPal. This is my PayPal here if you want to make any donations. But back to what I was saying. It's an intriguing, they're two very intriguing matchups. I don't know too much about Isaac Cruz, except that he was he found a stable in Manny Pacquiao Promotions, MP Promotions, with Sean. So Sean had to have seen something in Isaac Cruz. Isaac Cruz, I think he's what, 18-0 or something like that. So he's not 18-0. I think he's lost a fight. I think he lost one of his earlier fights by decision. But don't know too much about the kid. Kid never had championship experience. Hasn't been, doesn't have the experience that Tank has. But he's very vicious, very aggressive, very strong, and he just come off of his jab to do whatever he has to do. So he's fundamentally sound. So it's a very interesting, intriguing fight. Watching the face off what Tank did to Isaac Cruz, we'll see. Isaac Cruz, he's a very humble guy, but let's see what Isaac really brings to the table. I'm more curious about Isaac than I am about Tank. So I'm very curious to see. Vicious body attack by Isaac. He's a very vicious body attacker. Not the fastest cat in the world. Tank's much more explosive, much faster. But it should still be an interesting fight, So we'll see what happens. And this is a pay-per-view fight, so it better be interesting. Devin Haney versus Jojo Diaz. Jojo Diaz has done it all, seen it, been through it all, seen it all. I was seeing some posts on a Facebook group where they're saying Floyd's picking Jojo Diaz to win. I didn't see that. I don't know what that's about. But we do know Canelo's picking Isaac Cruz to beat Tank Davis. So wow, it's kind of crazy what we're seeing. Floyd, if this is true, is betting for upset win with Jojo Diaz against Devin the Dream Haney, and Canelo, going for the underdog Isaac Cruz versus Gervonta Tank Davis. We will see what Isaac brings to the table. I don't think it's a shit fight at all. I think we have to see what Isaac brings to the table. We'll see what Tank can do as well. So that's going to be an interesting fight. And then, of course, Jojo Diaz is no joke. I told you guys this once, twice, three times, four times. Devin Haney's whole team has been, assuring people that Devin Haney, he's got more power and starch in his punches. And whatever Jojo brings to the table, Devin will be more than ready to answer it. I don't know how true that is. I've heard that hype before with Devin Haney. So we'll see. But I can tell you that those fights are going to be a very interesting fight. So let's talk Devin Haney versus Jojo Diaz. For those of you watching this, I am what you need. You're watching my channel. Let me hear your predictions. Who do you have and why? So it's all open to you guys now. If the floor is yours, who do you have and why? With Devin Haney versus Jojo Diaz, which happens tonight. It's going to happen in a couple minutes' time. Who do you pick to win, and why do you pick who you pick to win? So let's hear your comments in the chat section, or if you want to, you can join me here live. Join me here live on What You Need. You can pop on the stream and give me your pick, and then give me a reason why you say this is the pick that you're going to go with, and why you think this pick will win. And then tomorrow, December the 5th, Tank is going to be taking on Pitbull. So we have a Tank versus Pitbull. You can also give your prediction in there. Who do you think would win between Tank and Pitbull? Of course, I'm assuming Tank is the favorite, as Devin Haney is the favorite. But favorites don't mean nothing. You got to go in there and execute. So I want to hear what you guys have to say about that. And What You Need is just waiting on you guys. I'm going to wait about 10 more minutes. And if nobody responds, then I'm going to get up out of here and wish you guys a good night. But just wanted to hear what you guys think on that matchup. Don't be shy. It's always about, so we'll talk about Haney versus Diaz first. Who you guys got? And who do I have? I'll tell you guys after. I'm just waiting on you guys to come through. You guys are taking a little while. I don't know how many people see my notifications, but What You Need in the building for at least 7 more minutes or 6 more minutes. Come on, guys. Give me a pick. Just remember, come Sunday, come Monday, you're going to have to stand on your pick. Come in here, man. Join me as a guest. And let's chop up some boxing, man. We all have a love for boxing. Hold on one second. What You Need is pretty informal with some of these things that I do. A little bit informal. A little informal with how I pick my picks and so on. So let's hear you guys, man. Who you guys got? Got about 6 more minutes before I wrap it up. It's okay. I'll tell you who my picks are at the end. Haney versus Diaz. Who you guys got? Okay, so all right. Ooh, there's somebody in the guest room. All right, shout out to the Flow Chamber. What's up, sir?
Oh, hey, yeah. Well, it's hybrid 9 and 5, bro.
All right, man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. A long time no speak. Yeah,
All right, all right.
yeah. You don't normally go live during the fights, do you? Or do you?
No, no, I don't.
Okay, okay. I was about to say I normally because I usually listen to people that do the commentaries and stuff.
Oh, cool,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. I've been kind of dialing back from all the drama and stuff, just all the deep rooted politics and
Right,
just really sitting back and enjoying the fights, man, and all the rise in talent, especially all the new talent.
right,
Such as Devin Haney that's going to be fighting tonight.
right.
I,
So,
I'm
what's your prediction for Devin Haney versus Jojo Diaz, and why?
My prediction, pain. No, no. I think honestly, man, yeah, it might be a little biased, but I am picking Haney all the way, man. I really like Haney. I like the way he approached Cambosis too. I'm surprised not many people are covering that. I expect a lot of people to really cover that. There was a little altercation, and I don't even know if you would call it an altercation because it was really cordial for the most part.
Yeah, because they
Like,
actually talked about facing each other before Cambosis faced Teofimo Lopez.
oh, was that before the fact?
No,
Or
I said they talked about it before
oh,
he
okay.
faced Teofimo Lopez. So he said he's going to handle his stories with Teofimo Lopez, and if Devin Haney handles his stories tonight, then they're going to fight for undisputed. Just dope.
But
That
it
would
is
be
crazy because I do love the trash talking and I love like all the drama leading into a fight.
right.
But I was excited just seeing that, and there was no rah rah, there was no crazy trash talking. It was just
No,
two men handling business, And I
yeah,
was just
yeah.
like, it got me excited. I'm like, damn, that fight could probably happen at some point. That's why I'm kind of hoping Haney just kind of runs through him so we can see that fight between him
I
and
don't. I don't. The only problem you got is JoJo is not a guy you run through.
well, yeah, yeah. I don't mean like run through him in a way that like because JoJo, yeah, he's taken a lot of tough fights. Has a win
Oh, yeah.
over Tevin Farmer. That was
Yeah.
a really good win for him.
And then the Javier Fortuna win, where he just jumped up in weight, first fight at lightweight, and I mean he handled Fortuna
Oh yeah, yeah, Javier Fortuna.
exceptionally. Yeah, I mean
Yeah,
this is a
so
guy that gets ducked.
yeah, some people say that Devin Haney ducked Javier Fortuna.
Nah, he didn't duck him. I don't think so. At least that's my opinion. Haney wanted Fortuna, and you remember he injured his rotator cuff or something like that from the fight before. And so the WBC was like removing him from there, and Fortuna was going to face Luke Campbell for the WBC strap, and Haney had to come back and say, "Hey, I'm good."
Right,
so,
right.
so I don't think he ever wanted to duck Fortuna. He wanted Fortuna. Fortuna, I don't know. Fortuna wanted to face him.
And even then, he's fighting the guy who beat Fortuna anyway.
Exactly.
So I mean,
And I'm telling you, Jojo Diaz is no joke, and I think this is going to be a very interesting fight. Let's see if Haney can, because I'm telling you, I believe this with everything inside of me. I remember Errol Spence talking about this kid. Jojo Diaz is a step up for Devin Haney. This is his first, I would say, prime, skilled former world champion. Who, by the way, he did not lose his title because somebody beat him. He lost his title because of the scales, right?
right,
So
right.
his only loss, JoJo has only lost to one guy, and that's Gary Russell Jr.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
in that
Gary
fight,
Russell's a beast. Yeah,
but really in that fight, Jojo was pretty effective in that fight. He wasn't throwing as many punches as Gary. Gary was throwing a lot of punches, and Jojo was just blocking him. But I think just Jojo wasn't active enough. But he was landing some really nice body shots on Gary Russell Jr. He was doing some good work, but he
Yo,
didn't. He just didn't do enough.
that's one guy I haven't heard like nothing about as of recent, Gary Russell Jr.
Yeah, well, he was interviewed very recently, and because Antoine and
Oh
the other
yeah.
Russell.
Oh dude, Gary Antoine Russell's a beast. He beat Jaron Ennis in the
Yes, he did.
amateurs, right?
Yes, that's
Yeah.
correct. Twice.
Yeah, I was watching that the other day. I went on a binge and watched a lot of amateur fights. I watched who was it? Usyk and Joe Joyce.
Oh, you did.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. That was a good little amateur fight. It was real
Yep.
competitive, and I liked how the crowd was getting involved in that fight too.
I thought though that Bitterbiev was beating the crap out of Usyk in
Oh,
their amateur fight.
I watched Joe Joyce fight Hergovich also in the
Yeah,
in the
nice.
amateurs. Yeah, that was a pretty good fight.
Yeah. And man, there's a lot of good stuff in boxing. Joe Joyce is a guy people sleep on. You shouldn't sleep on him. But
Oh, I like Joe Joyce. Yeah. I
I like
actually
him
picked
too.
I picked him against Daniel Dubois. I
I
was like
did too.
what I was one of the few people that picked him against Daniel Dubois.
I said he had more experience. He fought more at the highest level. He had always been at the highest level in boxing. The only guy that ever beat him was I think Alexander Usyk. Usyk's the only guy that beat him.
I think the main reason I picked, well, maybe a bias. I just like his style a bit more, but I do think even though he's older, he's quicker on his feet and quicker with his hands than Dubois is. Dubois uh, seems a little flat-footed. I mean, he is like a power puncher and shit
It's a
like
power
that.
puncher.
Yeah, so I mean, it makes sense, but I just had a feeling. I don't know. I had a feeling. I was like, I just had a feeling that Joe Joyce
Well,
was
the
gonna
thing
get
about
him.
a lot of people really do not respect Joe Joyce's defense. They think he's just a guy that gets hit, but actually he rides a lot of punches and he actually does like Mike McCallum. You hit him with an overhand right, but he's actually moving in the direction of your punch. So he dips very, very low to one side or the other like this, right? And he comes back with a punch. So sometimes you think he's gotten rocked and he didn't get rocked. He actually rolled the punch and then came back with his.
Well, my
So
thing is like,
he's tricky. He's very tricky.
has he been knocked down or anything like that?
No, he's
So
never
I mean,
been.
obviously, his defense has served him well this far. Like, if you haven't got knocked down, because I mean, there's a lot of killers out there. Effie Ajagba, I love watching that dude fight. I mean, that dude's
Right.
been chin check put on his ass. Like,
hmm And what is this guy's name that beat him? The Cuban,
oh,
uh,
Frank Sanchez, or was that
Sanchez.
Sanchez?
Watch out for him.
Yo,
He's skilled,
that was a good
very very
fight.
skilled. Yeah, he's very very skilled. Even though I think Ajaba knocked him down as well.
I have a feeling though that Sanchez guy, he's gonna be one of them dudes that gets ducked though. I think.
Done? How you mean done?
No,
Being knocked out?
no, I say ducked. Like, I think people are
Oh
gonna
yeah,
avoid trying to fight a guy like that.
yeah. He's skilled. He's very very skilled. The way how
It's
he's
almost
controlling range,
it's
crazy.
almost like Irizlandi Lara or Guillermo Rigondeaux, just the Cuban fighters. They kind of
Oh yeah.
they get done a bit dirty in boxing, I think.
Unfortunate, man. Very unfortunate. So you say Devin Haney. Is it by stoppage, you think, or is it points?
If I had to bet on it, I would say by points. I don't think he's gonna put him out of there, but I do think there's a shot, because Devin Haney is a big, powerful guy. I think people underrate his power just
Right.
because he has the skills. He has things that he can fall back on, and maybe he feels more comfortable showcasing his skills because that's like really like the highlight of it. But if he wants to, I mean, we can. Who was that guy he knocked out with that wicked overhand right? That just
Right.
like
Yeah, I remember that.
I forget who the guy's name was. It was. I
Right.
mean, not that it really matters anyway. It
Actually,
wasn't.
he also knocked down the slick southpaw guy. I forgot what his name is. That's
I'm just
actually
saying,
the fight.
if we're still gonna bring up the Mason Menard fight and shit with Tiafimo, if we're still gonna bring that fight up and like, oh, you look at what we got to bring up that fight too with Devin Haney. I mean, that to me was like a knockout of the year contender.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
He straight put the lights out. I mean, if Devin Haney, given the right circumstance, the timing, and if he sees it, I mean, he can put your lights out. He's a big dude for that weight.
And look, well, you're correct. He, Ryan, and Teofimo are big guys. They should really be at 140, but for some reason they're making 135. So kudos to them. But Devin also is now getting into his man strength, so he's probably going to punch even harder as time goes along. And the higher up in weight he goes, is probably the more he'll get his punching power. Um, so yeah, There's a lot to expect of these guys. These guys haven't even begun their careers, so it's crazy. We're talking about this kid, but
And just
let
all
me
the one last thing I want to say about Devin Haney, all the experience this dude has at such a young age. I
yeah,
mean, before anybody knew who he was, I mean, if you just do a lick of research, you can see this dude at like age 15, age 16, sparring with guys like Blair Cobbs, sparring with Shakur Stevenson, sparring with all these different like professional dudes, and like granted there is like some of them fights like Blair Cobbs was kind of showing out on him, but I mean he was like, a teenager at the time. I mean, he's in there like getting bred and brought up by professional fighters
yeah,
who are shining nowadays. So
yeah. He was sparring Jorge
it,
Linares. They were
it's
going from
not,
gym to gym,
so
sparring different champions.
yeah, it's not like he's like inexperienced or he's like green or anything like that. I
No, no,
wouldn't even
exactly.
say that he's not green. I wouldn't even say that he's green.
You can't say he's green. He's a champion. He's not green.
Well,
He's
yeah,
anything
but
but.
even if you try saying that though, people are gonna, bring up the email stuff, and that's why.
Email.
Well, the email champion stuff.
Oh, they're
Yeah.
just joking around.
Well, I
Okay.
don't know. It's just all the politics and stuff that is going on
No,
YouTube. That if even
he's a legitimate champion. What happened was Vasily Lomachenko vacated the WBC title for a WBC franchise title, which is why what's his name? George Kambosos is actually unifying with Devin Haney, because even though the WBC, like you said, is trying to acknowledge that he's undisputed, which he's not, um, Kambosos is going to settle that. So it will be undisputed for real. So he's going to face Devin Haney for real. And I think he's going to do it. I think he's going to do it. It's just like I knew Jojo. If Jojo said he was going to face Devin Haney, he was going to face him. Jojo definitely would have run through Ryan Garcia, because Ryan Garcia got no inside game. Jojo can fight on the inside. Devin Haney's developing his inside game. I saw him do some really good work against Jorge Linares in the fight he had with Jorge Linares. He lapsed in concentration a little bit. You can't do that with Jojo, but because that's Jojo's forte. Jojo can fight on the inside. He also can box on the outside, but that's his thing. He'll
I,
destroy you on the inside.
I
So
think he's got some fight in him too. I mean, he's got a really good chin because I mean, Linares put Lomachenko, like no one's talking about that
yeah,
shit. Linares put
Haney ate up
Lomachenko.
3 punches. It was a
Yeah,
three
yeah,
punch
dude. Like
combination.
that's why I'm trying. Like people
Yeah,
sit there and like, oh, he got exposed. Look at him getting caught.
no,
But like this dude put Lomachenko on the ground. You
yeah,
know,
he's a
the
heavy,
dude
heavy
like
puncher.
Linares, has got some pop,
Oh
and
yeah, absolutely.
Devin Haney ate that shit and kept going.
It was kind of crazy, wasn't it?
Yeah, but he got
I
caught
was wondering.
flush. He got
I was
caught
wondering.
flush.
I was wondering if the bell didn't ring, what was he going to do? Because it was at the end of the round that he got hit. It buckled him. It did. But again, hell of a chin, because, like you said, that's a 3 punch combination. That was a right, left, right. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
Real fast. Boom, boom, boom. So
Yeah, you could see the snot and spit and shit
yeah.
flying
Well,
flying
yeah.
out, yeah, flying off of his face. Like he ate that shit though. I
But
mean,
how many people could take a 3 punch combination to the chin? There are very, very few people that stay standing after that. That's just ridiculous.
That's why I think, like Devin Haney is just one of them dudes, kind of like, a Floyd Mayweather who's just been brought up since he was a kid, who's been bred up to fight. And it's
A
a
lot
whole
of a lot of
different.
a lot of stuff from Floyd, yeah, but not only because remember, Senior was the one that trained him, but also you'll see little pieces of Sugar Ray Leonard in there. You'll see Mike McCallum in there. If you pay attention,
Well, I'm just
you'll even
talking
see
about in the sense
Mickey
that,
Bay. You'll see little bits of Mickey Bay in there as well.
well, I'm talking about in the sense that since you're able to walk, since you're learning your motor functions, you're learning how to shadow box,
No, no,
and
no, no. He started boxing at the age, I think he started boxing late because his
Devin
dad,
Haney.
yeah, his dad, he was getting into fights in school and stuff, and his father was like, "Hey, no, 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 no." So he got him
Oh,
into boxing.
that's a
So
good
he
story
actually,
too.
I think he started boxing when he was 10 or something like that.
Oh, that's still a very young age. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. But I'm just saying he's not been boxing that long compared to a Mayweather or somebody who's born into boxing. And
But
remember,
I
his
think he's
his
I
family's
think
not
he's
born into
callous.
boxing either.
He
Huh?
has to be callous though to some degree because I mean, just think about all the other people. Ryan Garcia's been floored. Tiafimo's been floored. All these people's been floored. I mean,
Right.
Devin, like you said, that 3-piece and a soda that he took from from
From a
Linares.
puncher. He's a
Yeah, like
puncher. He's a
I
boxer
think
puncher.
I do think for years on end, he's been getting some good work and he's been getting callous because you can even you can look it up on YouTube. Since he was a teenager, dude, he's been getting in sparring work with everybody.
Oh yeah,
Shakur
everybody.
Stevenson, Blair Cobbs. And
But
like
I'm
I
telling
said,
you, he actually sparred champions while they were champions, right? So he sparred Jorge Linares. He sparred Floyd when Floyd was a champion. Before Floyd retired. Remember that big sparring session he had with Floyd?
wait, was it
Uh,
Devin or
Devin sparred Floyd.
I didn't know that.
Oh yes, he did. He sparred Javante Davis when Javante Davis was uh, champ. I think the first time Javante Davis was a champ, Devin sparred him. Okay, so I'm talking about he didn't just spar anybody, not just up and comers. He was sparring established champions. Yeah, so that's crazy.
Yeah, and
He
that's
got some
definitely
really good
gonna
work.
it's gonna callous you to some degree. I mean, your punch resistance, everything, just it's gonna sharpen up everything.
and
Look at
and it
George
gives so much confidence. You get so
yeah,
much confidence by
look
sparring these
at
people.
George Kambosos, man. George
Oh yeah,
Kambosos, being around Manny Pacquiao for so long,
yeah, he's
he
tough.
yeah, he wasn't gonna get shook up by a
No,
Teofimo Lopez.
nope, nope, he's
You could
tough.
tell, you could honestly, bro. God, I was even joking around with my brother about betting on it just because of the lines. And
Right.
me and my brother were watching the press conference, and we're like, dude, this guy's like in leather gloves, a suit. He looks
Yeah,
crazy, like he looks serious, like he really looks
yeah,
like.
he was
And
dead
then
serious. He was dead hungry.
Tio and his dad are over there just like clowning around, dude, just being,
No, what happened was T.O. They fired or something happened with Joey Camash. See, the guy who really is the difference in Teofimo Lopez's camp is Joey Camash, not his dad. His dad's great, but Joey Camash was the strategist and the guy that allowed Tio to beat Vasily Lomachenko. And for some reason, they removed Joey Camash from their camp. You know who Joey Camash is, right? He was a former world champion. Had
I heard people like the videos I've been watching. A lot of people have been bringing that up.
Yeah.
I didn't really know until I started hearing those videos. His his significance and shit to the camp.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. So Joey Camash is like, okay, so when you see father son, like even with Devin Haney and his dad, Bill Haney is the lead coach, but really Bill Haney isn't really training Devin. He's actually has other guys training him, like Ben Davidson and Mickey Bay. They're the guys that actually do the training of Devin, and his father kind of oversees it. And right now, added to the Devin Haney camp is no. I'm mixing up it with Tank. So what you don't know in the background is like a number of different coaches or trainers that train a fighter. That's why sometimes fighters go to different gyms. Like if you look at Tank, Tank goes to different gyms, right? That's because there's actually a quartet of trainers who actually train Tank. Same thing with Sean Porter. Porter was trained by his father, Kenny Porter, but also his father relies on the expertise and the knowledge of
Well, the way
Hunter.
I look at it is
Hunter,
like their dads usually are like more so managers, you know.
right?
Well,
Yeah.
not really Floyd Senior. I mean, Floyd Senior, that's a different
No.
thing
He was a
because
boxer,
yeah,
so it's
yeah,
different.
yeah, yeah. But in other circumstances, yeah, like you know, Kenny Porter, Angel Garcia, these guys work as like
Well, Kenny Porter was actually with the Olympic team, so he was actually a coach,
oh,
one of
was
the
he? Okay,
coaches
okay,
for
I
the
didn't know
Olympic
that.
team. Yeah, so he has a big amateur experience and background, very respected guy. So Kenny Porter actually was and is a coach. But even so, you need a senior coach sometimes. You need to go to your mentors, your mentor coaches. See, it's a whole network of people that actually work together with one fighter when they're having a fight. Sometimes, okay, take for example, I'll use Floyd.
Hold
Floyd,
on, all right.
when Floyd was facing Marcus Maidana, what a lot of people don't know is Floyd flew across to Panama to see the great Roberto Duran to get advice from him. Okay, see, people don't know this shit. Okay, so it's always what y'all don't know in the background is a fraternity, and sometimes a whole fraternity of people gang up against another fraternity of people when a fight happens. So that's how there's a lot of things that go on in the background in boxing that people don't know about. It's not
Oh
just a
yeah.
trainer. It's not just like Virgil Hunter and Andre Ward versus this guy. No.
Oh yeah, no.
Virgil Hunter,
Sometimes like I'll just go down rabbit holes and watch like sparring, you know, sparring tapes, amateur fights,
right?
and yeah. You'll start to see that like these guys have moved around with each other. We may have not
Yeah,
have seen them fight,
right,
but
right,
they've all moved around with each other, and they all know kind of you know what each person like presents and shit. Because I was watching an old fight, David Hay and Deontay Wilder. I was just like,
right.
holy shit, these guys, you know, they were
Deontay
getting some.
Wilder had took up sort of an apprenticeship under David Hay and under Vladimir Klitschko. So he sparred Klitschko. And what people don't understand is when these guys are sparring you, like Gennady Golovkin, particularly when he was sparring the other guys, he's actually giving you knowledge also on certain things and showing you little tricks that he
Oh,
uses.
of course,
So
yeah.
so these guys pass on knowledge to the other guys who are up and coming when they get a little time with them. You see like Lennox Lewis showing Deontay Wilder the jab and how to jab and all of these things. It's a brotherhood. So don't get it twisted. Even though fighters may have to face off with each other, even like Devin Haney when he faced Jorge Linares, because remember, Jorge Linares gave him tips and stuff when he sparred him. So after Devin Haney had finished fighting Jorge Linares, he asked Jorge Linares, "How did I do?" And Jorge Linares literally critiqued him. He said, "Okay, your jab is really good and your footwork's really good, but you need to do this or do that." So you will see that it's a fraternity. Even though I'm facing you and I'm fighting you, after I'm done, you could still give me tips and pointers on certain things. So
All
it's
right, all
crazy. It's
right.
crazy that people don't know all of this about boxing, but that's the cool thing about boxing.
Yeah, boxing is very deep rooted, man. And
Yeah,
anything that's deep rooted and has a history like that, you know, there's gonna be a lot of cheat
in
codes
fact,
in and
if you
outs and
yeah, if you look at Canelo versus Caleb Plant, at the end of the fight, Caleb apologizes to Canelo, and Canelo's telling him, "You are a great champion. You will be great one day." They're actually at the end of fights, guys actually applaud each other, great fight and stuff, and then they start to encourage one another. They literally start to boost each other's confidence. Man, you're a tough fighter. You're a tough competitor. Man, when you hit me with that left over the because what you'll find out is several years after, win, lose, or draw, one person's name is attached to the other. Most guys end up being friends after fighting each other. So it's a fraternity. Adrian Broner's good friends with Marcus Maidana. They hang out with each other whenever Marcus Maidana comes to town. And that's what people don't know. People think boxers just like are at each other's throats all the time. They're not. It's a fraternity. Yes, it's
well,
work.
one thing I like too was during that Shakur Stevenson and Was it Jamal
Jamal
Herrick?
Herring. Yeah,
Yeah, because it was pretty heated leading up
right,
to that fight. The build up, a great promo. I loved the promo for that fight.
right.
Uh, and right after the fight was done, man, Shakur's whole demeanor, man, he was just like a good kid. He was just a good old nice kid. He was just like
He's a
he's
very
like,
nice guy.
yeah, no, like the first thing he said to him after the fight was done, he's just like, dude, you're pretty good, man. I was like,
Yeah,
what? I was like, yeah, I was like, that's what you had to say after beating the shit out of him.
yeah.
I mean, I like Shakur though, man. That dude's gonna be a problem, man. He's gonna
He
be
is
a
a
problem.
serious problem. Him and Terrence Crawford. I'm gonna say this. I wasn't hype about Terrence Crawford, but when I see what he did to Sean Porter, he put him down twice. I don't care if you guys think he was going to stop him or not. He put him down twice. Nobody's ever put Sean Porter down
No, for
twice.
sure. Uh,
Nobody.
who did you have winning? Because I gotta rewatch it. I watched it live,
I had
but
Crawford winning. I had Crawford winning. And I'm
a
gonna tell
lot
you
of
why.
people had Sean Porter winning.
I understand, but who was in control? Who was in control of the fight? Remember, it's ring generalship. That's who's in control. It's defense. It's clean, effective punching and effective aggressiveness, right? If you look
Right,
at
right.
Sean Porter's aggressiveness this time, he never caught Terrence Crawford off guard. Meaning, yeah, Terrence might get hit with a punch or something, but he knew what to do right after. Terrence would either clinch him up, turn him, head control him or whatever, So you felt, even though the fight was very competitive and Sean was getting his licks in and he was doing his thing, it wasn't like the Errol Spence fight, you know?
Also, another thing I think, like, do you think what Bomac said to him in the corner may have affected what
Oh yeah, absolutely.
how? Because I think Bomac telling him that he was down,
Yeah,
other people were automatically like, you know what, he's losing the fight, Because I
right.
honestly, when I watched it, because I watched it live, I haven't rewatched it, but when I watched it live, it didn't, I don't know, it didn't seem like he was getting blown out. It seemed like a pretty competitive
It
fight.
was very competitive. But
Yeah,
the
it
thing
didn't
about it
it didn't
was,
seem like Terrence Crawford was just getting shut out or anything.
no, he wasn't getting shut out, and Sean Porter wasn't getting blown away. It was very, very competitive.
Yeah.
But then he changed gears in the
Oh,
in the 10th, and he
pretty
came out
much
with
when
a
he
very aggressive guard. So his both hands, even though he was off to an angle, his both hands were extended like this. So there's the high guard, right? There's the half guard. There's the peekaboo, right? He didn't come in with none of that. He came out very aggressive. You had the extended guard that's this, but then you have the double extended guard. So both his hands were out there. So he went out very aggressively on Sean, and Sean didn't turn up the juice. He didn't turn it up. He still kept on going at the same pace and the same rhythm, and Terrence caught him with
Yeah,
a left
I
hook.
was saying this on H Money stream too, is that he's gonna have to look out for that. If Terrence Crawford switches stances, he's gonna have to look out for that lead hand. That lead hand's gonna fucking put you out. That lead hand's gonna fucking
That's
knock
right.
your shit. Uh, and what I noticed too, and when I was watching, because I had never watched the Adrian Broner fight for some reason, and I watched the highlights and shit like that. I watched the whole fight the
Yeah,
other
the
day.
left hook. He gets hit with the left hook.
Yeah, yeah, he gets caught with the lead shot, and it's just like, damn, dude.
Except Terrence wasn't throwing a lead shot. It was a backhand shot from the southpaw stance. But
Well,
when Sean dipped down,
the first knockdown though,
when
when
he
he
when Sean dipped into it, he dipped into a left uppercut.
he
It,
came over the top though with that right hand though, and kind of set him down though,
Sean
didn't he?
Sean dipped. He threw the right hand. I think he fell short or something, and he dipped, and he dipped into an uppercut. That's how sick Terrence was. Terrence knew where his head would be because Sean had been doing it all night long, and he just
Oh damn.
timed it. He timed it to perfection, and he found the placement. It reminds me of Jamal Charlo versus Erickson Lubin, where in the
Oh,
right hand
oh,
stance,
yo,
Charlo timed Lubin, and Lubin dipped right into the uppercut. It's
yo,
the
you
same
know
punch.
what? That's crazy that we got to give Charlo some credit for that fight. He did
Of
that in the
course.
first. He did that in the first round. He
Yep.
put that kid to sleep in the first. And Lubin is no joke, dude. Lubin is a good fighter, dude. I mean,
Absolutely.
he's stepped his game up since then.
Oh yeah.
I forgot about that fight, dude. Charlo put him to sleep.
Yep. Because he did his homework. He knew that Lubin dipped to his right, so he timed him.
Yeah, he's straight. I mean, that was an ugly knockout.
Yep.
Damn, I kind of want to like look that up and watch it. I'm gonna have
Yeah,
to remember
and
that.
well, that kind of punch, Terrence did it in the southpaw stance. See,
Right, right.
that's the same punch that actually Roy Jones Jr. did to Joel Kawasaki, but in the orthodox stance. So he caught him with the uppercut, not as clean. Terrence caught Sean clean, but Sean's so strong.
Oh, there's a
Sean got up
fight.
from that uppercut.
There's a fight
Sean's
coming
very,
up
very
right
strong.
now.
Yeah. You could also look at Bernard Hopkins versus Joel Kawasaki as well. He hit him with the same shot. Right? So when I try to explain to people, I say I keep on telling people, I told people in the Facebook group, hey, listen, Terrence
Wait,
Crawford.
are you watching the fights right now?
Oh no. I shouldn't, but I have. Anyway, man, I'm glad for your pick. You talk about Devin Haney over Jojo Diaz. Because
It seems pretty basic, though. I mean, I don't.
Who? Jojo?
No. I'm saying my pick. I don't see many people picking JoJo. I don't think. Maybe
Yeah,
some
he's the
people.
underdog. He's the underdog.
I mean,
But
it's like people that just hate Devin Haney or something. But
no. Look at the history of JoJo, and then look at the history of Devin. Devin doesn't have that in fight experience. He has sparring experience. He has great training. He has great skill set. He's been mentored by great people. But the in fight training, the going through the fire under the big lights, JoJo has that.
right.
So that's where JoJo's like, he's done it all. He's faced Gary Russell Jr. is faster, hand speed, and also a very technical fighter. He's faced Tevin Farner, very excellent defensive fighter. And then he faced Javier Fortuno, is rough and rugged. So you see he's had all those attributes. A rough, rugged kind of guy, a guy that's really defensively
Yo,
sound.
this I'm sorry,
fast
this Mark Castro guy is like a cereal box fighter straight up.
Oh, you're watching the fights.
Yeah, Mark Castro's fighting I don't think I've ever seen this dude fight, Mark Castro. He's 4-0, 4 knockouts.
Okay.
Damn, they didn't even show the other opponent, I don't think.
Yeah, so I'm just saying that you cannot dismiss Jojo Diaz. He could be a spoiler in this thing. And so you have to take him seriously. Devin has to take Jojo seriously. I mean, he has a hell of a trainer. Ben Davison's a hell of a trainer, Mickey Bay. But nonetheless, you have to take the task at hand seriously. And this is going to be a good test for Devin. I'm telling you, it's going to be a good test.
Yeah, it's going to be good work for him. Yeah. I just don't. I like Tevin Farmer, I do, but I don't rate that win. I would rate a win over Devin Haney higher than I would Tevin Farmer.
Well, that's the thing. JoJo's capable of doing that.
Yeah,
that's what I'm trying to tell you. Like, just because he came up from featherweight doesn't mean he can't handle the weight. And there's certain things that JoJo does, which tells me he's a special boxer. He's a very special guy. So he could be a spoiler if Devin doesn't bring his A game and bring his sharpened skills. I'm sure they have great preparation.
It does make me nervous too. DAZN, dude, they've been delivering so many upsets. Who was that? Who was that? The Bully. What was that guy's name? The Bully.
Yeah, the Bully.
Rosado knocked that dude. Put him to sleep. Mikey Garcia loses to
right. That French southpaw guy, the Spanish southpaw guy.
God, I hate that I forgot his name because he put on such a good performance. Great boxing.
Woo! Yes.
What was that guy's name? Dang,
I'll look it up.
I feel bad. I feel bad forgetting the dude's name because he put on a good fight. Yeah, me and my brother, because my brother really likes Mikey Garcia.
Mikey Garcia's great. Mikey Garcia's great. Just the guy, on the night, just boxed beautifully. I mean,
oh shit! This Mark Castro guy's fighting kind of crazy, dude. He's fighting like a He's fighting like Israel Madrimov. He's fighting like that kind of style, like a
Wow.
Madrimov, Israel Madrimov. That's what he reminds me of.
Hmm. Yeah.
Fighting
I,
real crazy.
I just wanted to hear your prediction. How about tomorrow night? Tank versus Pitbull. Who do you got?
I mean, I gotta go with Tank.
Okay.
I just
Why?
had like I don't know. I just like him, man. I just think that win over Leo Santa Cruz it showed a lot. And I don't think people are giving him the credit for that fight because I saw a lot of people picking Santa Cruz.
Well,
I
actually, I
saw,
thought Santa Cruz would if he could go the distance, he'd probably win the fight because he was landing some pretty good lead hands. He was landing some pretty good lead hands. So
yeah.
he did
I
have a
mean,
chance. He did have a chance. But Tank was just closing down on him and beating the body man. Dude, that body work was
and
terrible.
Tank is another one of them dudes, man. I mean, you might watch him fight and think like, oh, he's short, like like, oh, look at it, he looks
Right.
basic and all that. But when you get in the ring with him, it's a whole
He's
different
not basic.
story.
He
Uh,
ain't basic. I can tell you that right now.
did
He's not a
you
basic fighter.
did you watch Sean Porter's podcast when he was describing
Yeah, he's very sharp.
sparring?
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
very
yeah,
sharp.
he was describing like sparring this dude, and he's just like, you ain't gonna shake this dude up. I mean, he's there to fight. Ain't shit gonna change his mind. And you can just see it, yeah, when he's fighting the dude. I mean, people don't want to give him his credit. I get, his resume isn't like uh the best, but that Leo Santa Cruz win, I mean, we got to give him some credit for that. He
Actually,
flatlined that guy.
I actually enjoyed the Mario Barrios fight better because Mario Barrios is long, he's rangy, and the man can box his ass off. Mario Barrios, I'm hoping to see more of him. He has to build up a little bit more of his strength, but I think he fought a really, really good fight against Tank, and he used all his attributes to not only keep Tank at bay, but also the range he wanted, but also get some of his shots off on Tank.
God,
I just think
I
that
and I don't want to come on your stream and start bringing up names and stuff, but I was watching like some video where somebody was creating a conspiracy about Rolly Romero. They said that Romero got pulled from the fight because they were scared that Tank was gonna lose, and it's
well,
just like,
maybe. I mean, I'm not ruling out anything, but what I would say is it was a little fishy that Rolly Romero all of a sudden is about some assault or something he did to somebody. It
it
was
is
a little
like,
fishy, but
I
I'm
mean,
thinking,
but to think that that's a dangerous fight for, like, I mean, oh shit, he got slept. He
right?
slept. They gotta call this off. I was about to say, call that off. He got slept.
Who
Mark
got slapped?
Mark Castro just put this dude to sleep. My bad. Yo,
Yeah,
he just like slept him with the overhand.
yeah.
And the ref is sitting there looking at him like trying to do the count, like he's out. He's out. Whoa. All right. He looks like a serial box fighter, but this Mark Castro guy might be a little dangerous.
Oh, he is. Got power.
Yeah, he's a little dangerous. He looks like a nice guy. It was babyface assassin, right? That's
Yep.
what they call it.
Well,
Damn.
the thing, he went to sleep. Um, I enjoyed the Fulton also Figueroa fight. I thought it was a great fight.
Oh, dude, that was a good fight.
That was a great fight.
Who did you think won that fight?
Oh, Fulton pulled it off in the last 2 rounds. It was neck and neck. Figueroa was doing some really good work when he started working on the inside, using the forearms and shifting all the time and pushing them to the ropes. That was some good stuff right there. Even though I gotta say Fulton was up to the task, he was blocking the punches and he was, fighting back. But I think the best work that Fulton did was when he was pushing Figueroa back.
I like Figueroa too, man. I've kind of been watching because he's one of those dudes that they put on the PBC undercards a whole lot,
Yeah.
And
He's something, boy. He's something. I'm
He's
not gonna lie.
good, man. Yeah, like
Yeah, he is very good.
I've always enjoyed watching Brandon Figueroa. He's
He jabs with either hand. He shifts stance in either stance. He's really
oh
sick.
yeah,
I
his
like it.
stance. Yeah, he can switch stances and just
He
box
switches
from
stances
my.
in a heartbeat.
Yeah, yeah, it's different than Crawford. It's different because he
Oh
can
yeah,
just
yeah,
like, yeah. I mean, that dude is sick with it, man.
yep.
Uh,
The only problem is he does not fight going backwards. His style is geared to
yeah, front.
hunt
Yeah,
you down. That's it.
that is true. He is a very front foot
Yeah. He
pressure
cuts off the
fighter.
ring very well. I mean, he tags you as you're moving back, he's gonna get you. But the
That's kind of
problem
crazy
is,
too, because like he's kind of rangy. Like he's a bit tall
yeah,
and
he's
rangy.
long. He's
Yeah,
long.
he should
Yeah.
be able to like work off the back foot.
And he has lovely hooks. Like to the body, he collapses those arms and get that leverage in because he shifts so well. He can get that leverage because he shifts from one stance to the next. So it's like a hook. You see, you're shifting like if you're hooking. So it works perfectly for him. I mean, that was a hell of a difficult challenge for Stephen Fulton, but he rose to the challenge, and I really applaud him.
Yeah, what's kind of crazy though is I was really wanting Figueroa to win, and
Yeah, I could.
when the fight was over, I was like real nervous. I was just like I kind of felt like they would give it to Figueroa,
Right.
but I was real nervous, and
It
I
was a close
think
fight.
uh I think that alone, because I don't know, like I said, I usually watch fights once live and I don't really rewatch too many fights, but I I don't know. I don't think some people were screaming robbery. I don't know.
Nah, it's
Fulton,
a close fight.
I think Fulton did probably do enough to win the fight,
Yeah,
to be
seven
honest.
five, 7-5. He pulled away in rounds 11 and 12. He started boxing him. So what he did was he started to move around and box him off the back foot instead of just staying in the trenches and trying to fight him. But he said
That's
what he was
why,
trying to do.
honestly, that's one thing I should ask you. Like when you're scoring, because I don't know how to score. If I'm watching a fight live, I'm so
Okay,
invested. Like I'm so invested. Like it's so hard for me to score. I'm
this
like,
is easy.
oh
This is
shit.
easy. Let me tell you how easy scoring a fight is, right?
I'm talking live though. Like I
Yeah,
can
live,
score a fight. Like
live. This is what I mean. Think about it this way. At the end of the round, you ask yourself, who do you want to be? And two, who landed a shot that was a shot. That was the shot of the round because I hurt the guy and that just switched everything in the other guy's favor. So
oh
that's
shit.
kind of like what you have to look
Philip
at.
Philip Hergefik's fighting next.
Oh, okay. Cool. Yeah. So that's basically it. So sometimes they replay the biggest shots of the round. That tells you who won the round because it's really about the effective shots in a fight. It's not just counting punches, okay? Because a guy could be pitter patting you with
Yeah, yeah,
100
right,
punches.
right.
You hit him with one and you drop him, right? You won the round. You know what I mean? So it's all about effective. So you look to
Yeah,
see
because I mean, I don't get me wrong. I love Manny Pacquiao, man. I love Manny Pacquiao.
Pacquiao's a bad boy.
The Ugas fight. I mean, there was a lot of people sitting there making a case that Pacquiao won. Like to
No,
me,
he didn't win.
Ugas was landing flush shots, and
Hard,
Pacquiao was
hard
bringing
shot.
the because that was a fight I watched twice, and I did know Pacquiao was bringing the fight to him. He was landing, but a
Oh
lot of
yeah,
the
oh
shit that he
yeah.
was
He hurt Ugas. He hurt
a,
Ugas with a couple shots.
I do think a lot of the shit that he did land wasn't as like pinpoint accurate or as flush as Ugas. Like a lot of it was
No, no.
glancing shots. It was, you
Oh
know,
no. He swelled up Uga's face, man. He put
he
it in
did,
front.
but for the
He got
most
his thing.
part,
Yeah.
he didn't get as many flush shots because
No,
dude,
no, no. Not
that right
yeah.
hand from Ugas was like God, dude. I mean,
Oh
he
yeah.
how like. I lost like you couldn't even keep count with how many of them flush right hands he landed
He
on
actually,
Pacquiao.
you think about it, Ugas, there's two weapons he used in that fight to get Pacquiao to win the fight. It was his jab and his counter jab was excellent. And then that looping right hand. Oh my God. Couldn't miss all night long. So
And
that's
see, my bad. I'm like watching some pre-hype right now. I'm all over the place, but
That's good.
It just the reason I've taken a break from this shit, just like content creating, or it's just all the hate, man. It's just like we can't appreciate.
Yeah.
It's just like
There's no love for the sport
we
anymore, and
can't
I
we
don't like
can't
that.
we can't
Yeah, I agree.
appreciate what these dudes like Devin Haney to me
Yes,
is like one of the most likable athletes. Like when I saw the
that's
way,
cool.
I mean, pretty much this dude's a kid. He's a kid. He's younger than I am, and I'm like 26 years old.
Right,
He's
right.
pretty much a kid. And the
Yeah,
way he conducts himself, dude, is like
yeah.
the
He
the way he
undefeated.
the way he conducted himself with Cambosis, it's like he approached him in public, but it wasn't on some robbery. It wasn't shoving like, "Hey, I want you, fool. Why you ducking
Right.
me, Rocky? You know, like I want you, fool." It wasn't on some Clubber Lang shit. Like
Right, right,
it
right.
was just like it was real cordial. It's just like some grown up shit. It's just like
Yep.
real businessman. Like
Because he's actually the head of his promotional company as well. So
and not only that, it actually made me want to see the fight. I'm like, wow, you can
mhm.
actually sell a fight without having to act like a complete buffoon.
Of course.
You can sell a fight without actually having to act like a complete buffoon.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like Devin Haney, like I think is like somebody special, like a special boxer, a special talent that we have right now. And
I'll tell you this. There's so many boxers out there, unfortunately, who don't get that shine and press, who don't behave like buffoons, like you said, and really should get their shine. Think of Tevin Farmer. Tevin Farmer doesn't really behave like a buffoon. Have you ever
yeah,
really seen Tevin Farmer behave
yeah,
like a
yeah.
buffoon? He don't behave like a
Tevin
buffoon.
Farmer is real. Yeah, he's very,
Gary
very
Russell
cordial.
Jr. Gary Russell Jr. sometimes says some crazy stuff, but Gary Russell Jr. on the most part doesn't behave like a buffoon. You won't really see him. So I'm just saying there's a lot of guys out there who actually have a certain class and standard to them, and it's cool.
And
I like everything. I
don't
like
get me
everything with boxing.
don't get
I
me
love everything.
wrong. I enjoy when people go out there and trash talk. I enjoy
Yeah,
the Tyson Furies. I enjoy like I enjoy the Muhammad Ali's. I enjoy good trash talk.
yeah, of course.
But like there's a lot of people that come on here and like act like, oh, it's such a big monstrosity, like, oh, you need to show sportsmanship and da. Oh, he's not a class act and stuff. And now we got a guy like Devin Haney who's actually a class act,
Right, right,
but you
right,
hate him either way. It's like, this
right.
dude is still kind
Andre
of
Ward
like
was a class act. Andre Ward was a class act.
Andre Ward, and it's just like I don't know. I just hate the divide. That's my thing. It's like there's
Yeah,
two sides, like how there's people talk about there's two sides of the street on YouTube, pretty
yeah.
much. Pretty much, it's
I'm
just
just
like
gonna say this: people who hate, they're gonna find a reason to hate. Okay,
because I
people.
can't even think of a boxer that I hate. There's really no boxers that why hate anybody who steps in the ring and like.
Well, I can't say that. I can't say there's not a boxer I hate. There is a boxer I hate. There's a
Ooh,
couple. There's a couple boxers I hate. When I
I
say
don't.
hate, not personally, but just I don't like how they're overhyped. You know, I don't hate Canelo right at this point in time, but I don't like what he's doing. Let's put it to you that way. And there are a couple boxers I don't really like because they overhype them, and I just don't like
Well,
it.
yeah. That's the fan bases and stuff, of course.
Yeah, I can't take it. I can't take it. I'm like, why, man? They hype them to the expense of other boxers, so they will vilify the other boxers and praise it. I don't like that.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I don't like when it comes to where you're having to put other fighters down to big
Right,
up.
it's not cool. But I do like a lot of boxers out there. And I think all the boxers, if they ever became world champions, I don't believe that. I
Really,
think they earned that.
my favorite boxers right now, if I had to pick like favorites that I like,
Right.
no matter what, I'm gonna root for. It would be Jaron Boots Ennis and
Oh, he's bad.
Emmanuel Navarrete. Those are my
He's unorthodox.
those are my two boxers, right? Dude,
So you don't like
Emmanuel,
Noah Inoue?
huh?
You don't like Noah Inoue?
I like an OA. Yeah, I like an OA. I get into the slick. I've always been a fan of the slick fighters growing up
Right.
and shit. Like, I don't know. That was just like because my older brother, was into Roy Jones growing up, and
Right. Well,
I
he's
was
something else.
like when I grew up watching boxing, just from like not really knowing what's going on, just like really because there would be undercard fights, but really like as a kid, like oh okay, this is the fight that everybody's paying attention to.
Right.
That was like the first superstar I ever saw on TV was Roy Jones, like, and he
Okay.
was yeah. So for me, I just boxing. Like when I watch box, yeah, that's my favorite type of style is the
Right.
slick head movement, counter punching,
Right.
stuff like Tank Davis.
Right.
But I do respect other styles though. I love Ali, the outside boxer,
Right.
uh head move. He's a fancy footwork and stuff.
Right.
Uh
Well, I grew up around the Sugar Ray Leonard, Muhammad Ali time, so uh,
oh,
yeah,
Fabulous Four. Yeah.
yeah. Duran and Hagler, Hearns. Also, let's not forget Larry Holmes and Michael Spinks. All of those guys in that time. Dwight Muhammad, Kwawi, and all those guys. So
Well,
that's
really,
where I kind of came up.
if I had to talk about like the main, because I'm only 26, like I was a kid
Right,
when Roy Jones was fighting. I
right.
didn't really understand the sport, like
But
really May
he
Ma-
moves so uniquely. Ed. You
yeah,
will never see nobody move like Roy Jones.
uh
You know,
Mayweather and Pacquiao and fighters like that. Who was God? There was another fighter back then that my dad and them used to like freak out. We used to watch a lot.
who's that?
It was like in that era.
Which fighter is that? There's just so many. Like you have
Yeah, yeah,
Felix
yeah, yeah.
Trinidad,
I'm
Ricky
trying to
Wright,
think.
well,
Felix Trinidad was one of them.
Bernard Hopkins, Pernell Whitaker, Julio Cesar Chavez,
Oh,
Hector Camacho.
damn it,
There's
damn
a
it.
lot.
Margarito, that was the guy.
Ma-
Antonio Margarito.
Antonio
Yeah,
Margarito.
he was
Okay,
one of. Yeah,
he's a tough guy.
yeah. He was just like a fan. He wasn't like the best fighter or anything. He's just like a fan
He's like the
favorite type.
Terminator.
Bricks put the cheated the glove and she
But
put bricks in
he
it.
was like a Terminator. Like
Well,
he could take
I don't
punches.
know.
He'd smile at you when you punch him in the face, and then he'd bring the heat on you. That's Margarito.
Bring the loaded. Yeah, I don't know.
He bring the pain. Yeah, he loaded gloves. Unfortunately, yeah. He sparred Oscar De La Hoya and all of that stuff. He sparred Oscar. Oscar was a beast. Oscar be sparring a guy with loaded gloves. That's crazy.
Oh, Fernando Vargas. That was another fight. Yeah, that was
That's
another
my
fighter.
dude.
That was another fighter that we used
Oh, I
to
love him.
watch.
I love him. He was great.
Tamaz Adamek. That was he's
Adam
kind of
Thomas.
yeah, he's one of them dudes who kind of go because he had that fight with Big Baby Miller, and I mean he was like 40 years old, but it like years
He's a
ago,
tough
like
competitor.
when I was
Tough
younger,
competitor.
yeah,
Cruiserweight.
when I was younger, yeah, I mean, he used to give guys hard fights, dude. Like, and I didn't even
Yeah.
understand the sport that much, but even as a kid, I would watch that and be like, dude, this guy's so small. I'd be like, dude, what's he doing fighting these big fucking dudes?
Yeah.
And he'd be giving them a good run for their money, dude. Yeah.
Another guy was Alexei Girov, I think is his name. Or Anatoly Girov. I can't remember what it's. Girov. He fought James Toney. James Toney. He fought James Toney. Man, southpaw. Tough guy.
Another guy, I thought that was just super small too. Eddie Chambers. I always thought he was he was kind of small, dude.
Way too small for heavyweight. Way too small.
Yeah. He was what they call a fast Eddie Chambers. Yeah, he is. Yeah, he was. He had skill.
He did fight Klitschko. He did fight him. Way too small.
Well, it was Vitaly, right?
It was Vitaly or was Vladimir?
Wait, I thought it was.
I can't remember. I thought it was
Yeah,
Vladimir.
I can't remember either. You might be right. I can't remember.
Yeah, I think it's Vladimir Klitschko. But yeah, I mean, Klitschko was something else himself. I mean, every single if you like boxing and you actually box, you're gonna like almost every single boxer because there's always something
Yeah,
you can learn from every single.
Samuel Peters. That was another bad
Yeah, he was
motherfucker,
very
dude.
good. Oh yeah,
Samuel Peters, yo, that dude had like uh
skills.
cuz I grew up in like cuz my dad used to order my dad passed away this year, man, but
Oh,
yeah,
sorry to hear that, brother.
yeah, so yeah, that's another reason I've been just taking a break and shit, but yeah, he used to just like record he used to record pay-per-views and like we had a bunch of VHS tapes
Right.
of just like old fights and stuff like that. That if we ever got bored, we like, we could just put on. And Gray, I didn't like, watch like a lot of tapes, but there was some names that I remember. Samuel Peters was one of them guys I
Beast.
remember. That dude like had
Nigel
power.
Beast. Yeah.
He was almost like a Daniel Dubois, like a dude who just could just flatline you, just put you out in a
And
single
he
punch.
was fast. Like he had good foot speed, good hand speed. He
Yeah,
beat
yeah,
James
no.
Toney. He beat
There
James
was
Toney twice.
there was one fight where yeah, dude, there was one fight, yeah, where you're talking about just the foot speed, where he could like just shift and like turn his body completely around.
Yeah,
He
he's
did have
fast.
some really creative footwork and
Oh
counter
yeah.
punching ability.
Yes.
And like
Yes.
yeah, that's one of
And a
them
great
fighters
jab.
that no one brings up no more.
Yeah, he's still boxing, actually.
What?
Yes.
No
He's still
way.
fighting.
How old
I
is
think
he?
the last person he fought was a Fury. I think it was Huey. He fought
Huey
Huey Fury.
Fury.
Yes, he did.
What?
Yeah.
How old is that guy?
I think he's 30 something. He was young when he fought those guys. When he fought Klitschko and those guys, he was very,
Dude,
very young.
I was young when I
He's
watched
probably
those
39.
fights. Damn,
Yeah,
dude.
he's something else, man. Samuel Peters.
Yo,
Underrated
he
Nigerian boxer.
fight Huey Fury.
Yeah, he did.
I guess he lost the fight then. I
Yes,
didn't
of
watch
course.
I didn't watch that fight.
But he was actually quite competitive with Huey Fury, which is kind of ironic. Yep.
It's crazy. I gotta watch that fight now.
Yeah, but it's boring. But you could go ahead and watch it.
I kind of like Huey Fury. I mean, he's kind of he's your
He could fight. He could
he, he
fight.
he's your bottom shelf Tyson Fury. He's like the low
Right?
rent.
He could fight though. He could fight. It's just that, unfortunately for him, he started to kind of box a lot, but he could actually bang. He could actually bang. Them boys could fight.
Well, he
Uh,
comes from that direct bloodline too.
you're right. Fighters,
Yeah,
family
yeah,
of fighters.
yeah. Well, I think his bloodline though, Huey Fury in particular, comes from a more direct bloodline from like one of the main fighters in their family. Because
Yeah, Gypsy.
I was watching a documentary, and what makes Tyson special is that like on his dad's side of the family there was an undefeated fighter, but also on his
Yeah.
mom's side of the family there was an
Oh,
undefeated bare knuckle fighter. So on with his mom and dad, their lineage traces back to fighters that were undefeated.
yeah. I
and
think John talked about that at length. He said there's a lot of them actually that were undefeated gypsies. But the thing with gypsies was, as you know, in the UK, they're not seen as they're looked down upon for some
yo,
reason.
Herkovic is looking kind of Herkovic is looking kind of stiff, man. Is he breathing? What's going on? It's only the second round. He's looking kind of funny. Oh, all right. He's putting it on the guy. I think he was baiting the dude. All right.
Uh, yeah,
Oh, he set him down. He set him down. The dude took a knee.
there
All
you
right.
go.
I was about to say something's going on because he was kind of letting the dude like punch him or something. I don't know. The dude was catching him and then
I think sometimes they try to, like you said, bait the guy into throwing his offense so you could get the holes. Otherwise, the guy would just shell up and you just not get him out of there for the entire night.
Yeah, because I was kind of thinking like, is Hrgovic like is he getting touched up?
Yeah. Boxing is a really great sport in that respect. You know, it's very cerebral.
Yeah, you can
Um,
tell this guy is very reactionary. Like all Hrgovic has to do is feint, and this dude is just doing all sorts of crazy stuff.
be biting on it.
Oh yeah, he got knocked down again.
There you go. I guess this was a stay busy.
Yeah, he's getting beat up. This is only the second round.
Right. It's a mismatch. That's great. Yeah, man. Well,
And
this is
this
basically
guy,
it.
and well, it's going into the third round. I guess the dude stood, but this guy never fights. When's the last time this dude fought?
Hergovich? Remember, he had
Yeah,
COVID. COVID stopped everything.
yeah,
So,
yeah. I get that, but
mhm.
doesn't he? You better put the rounds in. Put in
Oh,
some
I get what you're
rounds.
saying.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Just put it. You
But you
know.
know what I believe, though? I believe the guy doesn't even belong in the ring with you. Get him out of there.
Well,
Don't.
well. Also, you see what Fury did before he fought Wilder.
Right.
He fought some bums, but he stretched it out. He went like 12 rounds. I mean, he was coming off of like what was that, a 3 or 4 year layoff, or
Yeah.
2 or 3? It was a really long layoff. Fury was coming off of, and I think he had like 2 fights. He kind of dragged him out. I think one of the fights I think he got a stoppage, but one of those fights he dragged out like 10 rounds. Went like a whole like yeah. Why not? Why not get some work in and kind of
Because
get
if the competition is not worth it, you're not going to really get proper work in, then it makes sense to just get them out of it. Because to get work, to really get work, you have to be put under a certain degree of pressure. And if you're not getting put under a certain degree of pressure, what's the use? You see what I'm saying?
That's
Because remember,
true.
boxing's a thing where it's about stress.
What
So,
if you work on the thing that you're weakest at? Maybe you're not too good at boxing from southpaw. Maybe switch to southpaw and box the dude from southpaw to give yourself a bigger
but
challenge.
is that something you'd really do in an actual fight?
Maybe
If you're not
like
really
if
gonna,
the guy is just such a soft touch. Let's just say the guy's like a real soft touch.
well, that's my point. If he's so soft, you're not really gonna give you any challenge. Then get him out of there. So you could go home to your family. You're not getting paid.
The fight's over, by the way.
Yes, you're not getting paid by the minutes, right? You have a flat rate, so might as
Yeah,
well get
you're
rid of them.
right. You're right. You're right.
And
Yeah.
you can always do that in sparring. You don't have to do that in, an actual fight. So you get rid of
Yeah,
the dude.
this guy didn't want no part of it.
And
Hrgovic
just
just
he
like
just wanted to get a stay busy fight is to get your feet wet, just to get used to the lights and everything. If you've been rusty or whatever, you haven't been fighting for a while. So you get that stay busy just for that. And if the guy don't belong in the ring with you, get him out of there.
it's so crazy, when you bring the money into it. Because I get everybody wants to bring up the money shit and like,
No,
oh,
but what I'm saying
it's
is
all like a
it's
business,
all
but
about being safe as well. You don't want to drag out a fight
well, yeah,
and then
yeah,
something
no,
happens.
no, 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 true, true. No, I agree with you there.
Yeah.
But the money thing, I'm just saying in general, people bring up money and boxing. Like money
Well,
comes
in this
from
case, but
skill. Money comes
but
from skill. Like you
yes,
gotta
but
work for
here's
the
the good
money.
part about it, right? It's an incentive to knock out the guy because the most conclusive thing in boxing that judges cannot overturn is a knockout.
Right.
So if you know that you can get this guy out of there in 30 seconds, why wouldn't you do that? He doesn't belong in the ring with you. He's not on your level at all.
All right, so
Can't
why
even work with
why
him.
why would Tyson Fury drag out that fight for 10 rounds? That
Which
you
fight is
remember
that again?
it was a fight he had right before he fought Deontay Wilder.
The first one?
Yeah, the before the first fight.
Oh, he's rusty.
No, I mean, come on, dude. Come on. You can watch that fight and tell that it was him like
No, the guy had some skills that allowed
no
him to stay
way.
in that fight. Yep.
No way. No
Think
way. And
about
I
this.
I don't listen. You're not the type of guy that I want to argue with,
No, what I mean is, what I'm
but
just saying, I'm not arguing with you, but what I'm saying is like this. If a fighter is
oh,
going into a fight to
we gotta
survive,
Hold on, we got to pull up a box rec or something. There's no
I
way.
think it was Pianata. He faced Pianata or something like that. Wasn't that the
Is
guy?
that yeah, Pianetta. Pianetta,
Right.
that's right.
Pianata has never been knocked out. I don't think. I don't remember him getting. So he's a guy who knows how to survive. So you either have to trick him and get him into beguile him into knocking him out, or you go 12 rounds with him.
All right, so I guess I mean I trust your word because I mean I know you study the
Because
sport.
if a fighter doesn't want to get knocked out, right? There's things you can do in the ring to survive, but it's negative. So
That was one of the most
our referee could say,
ugliest.
hey, if you don't throw any punches, I'm calling this fight off. They could do that because it's negative. You're not coming to win. You're coming to just survive. There's a difference, you know. But if a fighter goes in there and he realizes I could throw this punch and I could throw this punch and I could throw this punch and I seem to be getting some success, that's where you actually can get them to walk into something. Yeah, that's boxing is a cerebral sport, like I said before. It's not easy to get knockouts. You have to set it
No,
up.
for sure, for sure.
You have to set it up.
Yeah, I guess you know I'll trust your
No,
take
you don't
on
have to
it.
trust me on it. I'm just saying. I
Well,
mean, I do.
you do a lot more research than I. That's the only
Oh, no,
reason
I actually
I'm a
box.
trust.
I actually
But
do box. I actually
well,
fight.
I've boxed before, but I just don't
Nice.
study. I just don't know who I don't know anything about Pianetta. I thought
Oh, check him
Pianetta
out.
was just some scrub.
No, he's not. He wasn't a scrub. No, no, he was. I think he
Yeah,
fought. He
do you know
fought.
who Tristan Moorcraft is?
No, who's that?
Uh Tristan, he boxes on DAZN. He trains at my gym down the
Oh,
street from me.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's kind of cool. That's cool.
Yeah. He's boxed on DAZN before and stuff. My coach is Kendrick
Who did-
Relaford.
Okay. Who did he fight? Who did he fight?
Ah, shit, I couldn't tell you to be honest. He's
Uh,
very, he's an up and comer. Like I couldn't tell you who he's
Tristan what?
fought.
Tristan what?
Let me look up how to spell it. My bad.
Oh, interesting. That's kind of cool. He's a prospect.
Yeah, because I always forget how to. Yeah. He's. I've seen him fight like one time. Uh, but he trains down the street from me. Kendrick
Oh, that's kind of
Relaford
cool.
is his coach.
Kendrick Rutherford. That's interesting. Man, the fights are going to happen in about 1 hour's time, right?
All right. I found out how to spell his last name. My bad, dude. His last name. Uh,
Hello? His last name is what?
hard to spell. I'm gonna put it in the private chat.
It's
Yeah,
hard to
because
spell.
but
Oh, okay. Woo. Well, you're right.
yeah, he uh he trains down the street from me though. His coach's name is Kendrick Relaford. Kendrick Relaford has been in the ring with Malik Scott. But yeah,
Oh,
he doesn't train me. Like I train at that gym, but I've never
right.
received train. Because Kendrick, he's normally training with all the the big dogs and shit.
Okay.
Like I really haven't sparred too much there.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. But I've learned how to skip rope. I've done a lot of bag work. I'm learning the speed bag. I'm getting a little better at the speed bag.
Nice.
And yeah, I've done a little bit of sparring. I've done some sparring, but
You
not
do
as
you do any training with the what do we call it for your feet where
oh,
you
the
do any
ladder drill?
the ladder drills? You do
Yeah,
those?
yeah, 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 yeah. We've done the ladder drills.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah,
Nice.
I, I'm not as good at as some people. I'm trying to get better at that too. But yeah, that shit, it's not as easy as it looks. That shit's
It doesn't look
uh
easy.
it's it's taxing. That shit's taxing.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Some
So
people though, that you'll watch them just like it's like a machine gun. It's like, holy
mm,
shit, how are you doing that, dude?
start or slow. Yeah. Well,
Uh
I got one more question for you before I go, but I'm happy to see that you're talking boxing, man. And my condolences for your loss, man,
oh
this
yeah,
year.
yeah. Hey, no worries, man. A lot of shit's been going down this year for me, but you know,
For everybody. For everybody.
yeah, life goes on, man. I don't want it to bring me down or anybody else down.
Oh no,
It's
no, no,
just,
no, no.
yeah.
No, 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 absolutely. So here's the last question I got for you. You picked Tank and you picked Devin Haney. Will you come back?
Wait, Tank for what? I picked Tank for what though? Isaac Cruz, you mean?
Yeah,
Yeah. I picked Tank and I picked yeah, for sure. I
Devin.
picked
You
Devin.
said Devin by decision, Tank by KO.
Well, Isaac Cruz, I think, is going to be a more competitive fight than Rolly. You know, some people were sitting there.
Definitely. One hundred
Uh,
percent.
well, some people were sitting there trying to act like, oh, you know, he's taking a step down fight. Like it really ain't a step down fight. Isaac Cruz
No.
ain't like Isaac Cruz is kind of a what do they call him, like the Mexican Mike Tyson or some shit,
He's a
right?
Pitbull. His nickname is Pitbull.
Yeah. I mean, he's kind of a dog in there. Yeah. He
Yeah.
gets down and dirty.
And
So,
he stops people.
but I do think, yeah, I think Tank can stop him, dude.
You think
Tank
so?
has, yeah, dude. Tank. I mean, if you got a guy like Sean Porter in there saying, like, the way Sean Porter was talking about this dude, Sean Porter act like he was talking about like he
Crawford?
act like, yeah, I mean, he act like he seen a ghost or some shit.
Well,
So
all I know is Kenny Porter's working with Tank. So Kenny, um, Hunter, and Coach Calvin. They're the guys that are working with him. I'm with the other people from Coach Calvin's training camp. But what I would say is, I think that I don't know much about Pitbull from, but what I've seen of him, that boy ain't no joke. Okay, he's strong. He's strong. And when I looked at him in the weigh-in, he looked weak, right? He looked skinny and weak. That's because he's so big. He lost a lot of weight just to make the weight class. So when we see him on fight night, he's gonna be filled out. He's big, he's strong, he's small, he's shorter than Tank, but he's big and strong. It's gonna be interesting. Let's see if Tank can box his way out of that one, maybe stop him
so
late.
wait, you're getting off here, or
I what?
are you getting off here? Or?
Getting off? Yeah. I'm gonna close
Oh,
up. I'm gonna
oh
close up.
shit!
Yeah. But before I close, let me just say thank you so very much for coming through. Uh uh
You're not gonna do a commentary for the fight or what?
well, I can't do a commentary because I can't see the fights while I'm using my phone. So I have to actually watch.
Oh shit! I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. All right.
Unless you wanna do the commentary and we just stream. Because I can't see it. I can't see it if you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would like to get some people in there though.
Okay, well, the floor is yours. I'll keep it streaming
Well,
as
you
long as you
remember
want.
my channel, right? Hybrid 95.
Well, oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Hybrid. It's been a while. I haven't seen you. So yeah, let's do it. Get your channel going, StreamYard, and let's go.
Yeah. Just real basic, no bullshit, man. Like I'm not trying to like
Yeah.
discuss a
I mean,
bunch of
politics.
politics or
Yeah.
LDBC or none of that shit.
No. Just
Just
box.
boxing. What's
Yeah,
happening? The fight. Like I just want to talk
absolutely.
about the fight. Yeah.
Yeah. It's.
So
I'm telling you, man. Boxing is a great sport, and people
and it's
politicize it, but
yo,
it's a great.
and the thing about it is like boxing is kind of lighting up. Like there's a
Yeah,
shift. There's a shift going
yeah.
on right now.
Right.
some crazy shit's going down. That Wilder Fury fight, that was
That was great.
crazy. No
That was
one,
great.
I don't think anybody expected a fight like that, especially given how
Right.
badly Wilder got beat in the second fight. To expect him
Right.
to come back and I know it's like just sort of nitpicking, but those first couple of rounds, Wilder was looking real refined. He looked real
Oh yeah.
good, giving
Good.
Fury a lot of problems, dude. And
Yeah,
Fury
and
did
I
not.
could never forget Wilder dropping Fury. That is crazy.
That too, but what the body shots? Fury did not like that shit. When
No.
Fury was getting touched up to the body, he was. I mean, he looked real uncomfortable, man.
Yes, he did. Yes, he
And
did.
I wish Wilder would have stuck to it. He went back to his old
Wasn't
ways,
easy. It wasn't easy because Fury caught him with the jab. His Fury's jab was
and
just
that
really
left
good.
hook. I think he caught him with the left hook too.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That jab. Fury has a really good jab, and I think that's what made the difference in the fight because Wilder was throwing his jab, really good jab too, but Wilder didn't know how to slip the jab, how to get out the way of Fury's jab. That's the problem. That really changed the fight because Wilder was doing a lot of good things, you know.
yeah. My bad. I'm keeping an eye out right now.
So if you're going to do your channel, let me know. I'll roll up in there and say my piece after the fight, not before because obviously I'll be watching it. So afterwards, I'll roll up in there and say my piece on it, man. But thank you so very much for your predictions. So you're saying Tank late, not stopping people, or not at all, just winning. Just you just want to stick with Tank winning the fight.
I'm gonna say he can stop him.
Okay, so you're going to go Tank stoppage. Is it late, early, what?
I'll say it's I'll say it's late. That's just a safe pick. It could be early, but I'll just say it's late. Probably
Okay,
like the eighth round or something, eighth or ninth round.
right. So my picks, I'm just going to let you know my picks so you know it in advance. So you could hold me accountable. For the first fight, Devin Haney versus Jojo Diaz. I have Devin Haney winning the fight by split decision.
Split. Whoa.
That's right. Because
All
JoJo's going
right.
to do a lot of good work on the inside. And Devin's not going to stop him from getting on the inside. Devin is going to have to do work on the inside. So it's going to refine Devin's inside game. But by split decision, Devin Haney is going to get this fight. That's how close that fight, I think, is going to be. The second fight, Tank versus Pitbull. I don't know too much about Pitbull, but from what I see, he does look like a spectacular fighter, and it's Manny Pacquiao Promotions, Sean, who actually recruited him, which means he's a very good fighter. So I'm not underestimating that dude at all. If Tank wins this, I think he might actually have to win it on points. He may have to win it
Well,
at decision
I think
point.
Tank. Well, one last thing that
He
I
has
want
to
to
box him.
one more long-winded point that I'm gonna make here before you close it off is
No,
that I think that Tank is one of them dudes like Devin Haney where we may look at his resume and it may deceive you like okay he's fighting
right,
these guys that but the work that he's getting in and sparring he's sparring guys he's sparring guys much heavier than him. Sean Porter, he's sparring a lot of good fighters. I mean, Mayweather's going to make sure. Mayweather, like when you look into the lineage and the history of their gym and all the wars that they've been in sparring, who's that one guy? Christian, no, there's this dude named Christian. He wears the little piccolo fucking outfit from their
right,
gym, the money gym. That dude's a fucking psycho. He's been involved in so many fucking brawls. Like that's just the kind of energy that comes out of the money team, you
right.
know? And that's what Tank's been bred out of. These dudes are in there fighting, dude.
Well,
Like
Tank actually is mostly from Baltimore, so he deals with the headbangers gym. Headbangers.
I thought he
He's
trained with Mayweather and them too.
Coach Calvin. He goes different places. He was training with Virgil Hunter. He was training with in New York. He was training with what's the
So
guy?
Mayweather's just like his manager, I guess.
Yeah, Mayweather is basically his mentor and his promoter.
He kind of has like a defensive style, though. He kind of has a
Yeah,
style where he implements a lot of. It's almost like you would think Mayweather has something plays a big part in his.
Yeah, he
At least
watched
I.
Mayweather a lot when he was younger, but he's not really. Tank has his own kind of style. If you really
Yeah,
look
yeah,
at it,
it's very different, but
yeah,
that aspect, the way he dips down, the way his
right,
side stance, and the way he can evade
right,
punches by, because the way Mayweather used to do it from that Philly shell stance and like dip his
right,
head down,
right.
like
That's Tank.
Tank
Tank does
Tank,
that. Yeah,
yeah, Tank has a lot of that shit, and he's real smooth with it too.
yeah. And so Tank is a much more smaller, compact version of, I wouldn't say Money Mayweather, probably Pretty Boy Floyd. He's more like Pretty Boy Floyd. Pretty Boy Floyd was
Yeah,
more elastic, a little bit longer, did a lot more things. But yeah, I guess Tank didn't get to display everything, could keep on knocking out people. But if he could get a chance, an opportunity to actually show his boxing skills, that would be really cool because he could really box. If you see
I,
anybody who
I,
ever seen Tank in the amateurs, man, that boy he's sick.
well,
That boy
I mean,
sick.
I think he's like a real sick counter puncher now, though. Like,
Yeah, he is.
I
Yeah,
mean,
he is.
he's dangerous. He's very dangerous,
Got a lot of power. Got a lot of power.
and that defense too. Just
Yeah, he's
that
good, pretty decent defense.
that base he has, being a southpaw. Just so much stuff that you have to like it's so much stuff that you have to be wary and afraid of, because already right off the bat people are like, oh god, he's southpaw. This dude's
Right,
short, he's compact, knocking
right.
people out, has like a good defensive base, and he can counter punch. Like there's just
And
so
he
much
got a good
shit.
chin too. He got a good chin. So you can hit him and he
M-
still
m-
keep on walking you down. You know.
well, maybe there's a reason his resume is like, maybe people just aren't jumping in line to fight him. Maybe
Oh,
like
everybody want to fight him. Everybody want a
who
payday.
who
Everybody. Devin
like
Haney
who
jumps up to fight him. Devin Haney wanted to fight him. Ryan Garcia was dying. Well, at least he said so. I don't know how true it was,
Ryan
but he was
Garcia.
dying to fight him. He said, "I don't know how
Maybe
true that was."
Devin Haney, I could see stepping in there. I don't.
Yeah, Ryan.
What
These days, I don't know what's going on with Ryan. Man, Ryan be saying some crazy stuff,
and
and
the shitty part is, I think Ryan actually has a good shot to beat him.
yeah, he has fast hands, long range, tall guy. Yeah,
Yeah,
of
yeah,
course, absolutely.
yeah. I think Ryan actually has a good shot to beat Tank, but
Yeah, he
yeah.
does. But Ryan should have been facing Jojo Diaz, and then he pulls out with a hand.
Oh yeah,
He
that's
was supposed
right.
to face Javier Fortuna. He pulled out of that fight. So I don't know what's going on with Ryan. I know Brian can box his ass off. I know that, but it's like I don't know what's going on with him. Like he talked about he's in a depression and all kinds of crazy things going on with Ryan. So I don't know what's going on with Ryan. He's like missing in action. Everybody else is doing something. He's not fighting at all. So I don't know what Ryan's doing. Even Canelo was saying, hey man, Ryan, you need to get back in the gym. You need to
Oh
be
shit,
serious.
you can end the live if you want.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah,
I'm gonna
yeah,
catch you
yeah.
later,
Just
man.
yeah, yeah. Well, we can talk backstage and shit. I'll let you know when the fight's gonna start and shit
Okay.
like that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But
Well, I,
if
I
you,
gotta go do some things as well. So I'm gonna disappear for a minute. But
uh oh,
your
uh oh.
channel is hybrid.
Yeah, same picture. Jazzy Jeff Mayweather that I have on my
You're
icon.
hybrid, right?
Yeah, yeah, hybrid 9.5. Same picture that I'm using right now, Jazzy Jeff Mayweather. I have on my icon.
But what is your name right now though? Your name right now is not that.
Oh yeah, that's, I don't know. That's some dumb shit because I've been joining other streams too.
So
Yeah, my bad.
but hybrid 95, I'll find that on YouTube.
Yeah, yeah, hybrid 95, and it'll be this picture right here of Jazzy Jeff Mayweather.
I'm checking you out now.
All right, all right,
All right, man.
all right. Peace out. What